Welcome to Bizburg on 101.5 Word FM. I am Gary Dixon, and the program you're about to hear is sponsored by IKOR of Western Pennsylvania. Our guest from IKOR is Patty Hanson, who's the managing director, and some other things as well. Patty, welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having us, Gary.
Well, I mentioned your managing director and some other things. What are the other things on your list?
Well, I am a counselor, a life care planner, as well as an aging life professional.
Well, we first met on another program, which was done with a group called Life Options Pittsburgh, Solutions as You Age. Your company, IKOR, is a partner with Life Options.
We are a partner with Life Options.
And we're going to be discussing that throughout the program, specifically IKOR, as we'll call it. That's IKOR, and what it is exactly you do. So let's back up. Let's take the big question first. What is IKOR?
So our local office in Western Pennsylvania is called IKOR of Western Pennsylvania. We're part of a national company that services the needs of seniors and the disabled around aging-related concerns. We help our clients live as independently as possible in the least restrictive environment. We were started in the Kennett Square area of Pennsylvania by a registered nurse whose husband is an attorney and he was a magistrate judge, and she worked at an insurance company, and she would often get calls about people not having a place to turn when they were dealing with complicated issues of care. So IKOR was, Patricia's the founder of IKOR, and she created a system which is now a franchise system, and my husband Mike and I are the local owners of the franchise. Mike is an attorney. He doesn't act as an attorney on behalf of any of our clients, but he certainly partners with their attorneys around legal issues.
Well, yes, obviously some specific information that's very useful in those areas. So you're advocates for the elderly in a number of different areas?
So we also work with the elderly. We work with children with special needs and their families, and then we also support some disabled individuals. So we have a team of registered nurses on our team and some social workers in addition to myself and Mike. And other professionals refer to us to act as power of attorney or guardian of the person or of the estate. We do a lot of work with special needs trusts, and in the areas around finances, we collaborate with other professionals. And then we also support family members who live at a distance. We help seniors age in place with dignity, being their local contact with some geriatric care management areas. We do daily money management. We'll help a senior or a disabled person pay their routine bills and manage their banking. We build whatever system is necessary to help our clients be able to continue to do the things that they enjoy doing, looking at the medical, the psychosocial, the environmental, and addressing financial needs as well.
Wow, you cover a lot, don't you? Well, we're going to go a little more into specifics in our next segment here on Bizburg. We hope you'll stick around for a while. Patty Hanson, Managing Director of IKOR of Western Pennsylvania, our guest today on Bizburg, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Bizburg on 101.5 Word FM. Patty Hanson is the Managing Director of IKOR of Western Pennsylvania, our guest today on Bizburg. In our last break, we talked about the services, the overview of your company and what it offers. Let's get into a few more specifics. What is the medical and financial advocacy and life management services that you're offering?
So we run the gamut. Our simplest cases are supporting seniors, often with making sure that their bills are getting paid, or their grass is getting cut, or their snow's getting shoveled, and that family members have someone to call in an emergency, especially family members who live at a distance. That's kind of the simplest form of our services around life management. And it can go all the way up to managing the concerns of someone with a catastrophic illness or injury. Maybe we have some clients that are a quadriplegic or a paraplegic who live independently or with the care and support of others. And we have nurses assigned to the most medically complex cases to attend doctor's appointments, make sure that their care needs are being met, to support family caregivers, because family caregivers tend to go through an exorbitant amount of stress just keeping up with the needs of clients. So we're kind of there as the support to come alongside the caregiver as well as the client. We act only in the best interest of our client, but when we act in the best interest of our client, the caregiver's needs get met. And it's just kind of, we're someone to, from a medical standpoint, we're someone to come alongside the senior individual or someone with disabilities and their family members, to just come alongside them from a medical perspective and support their needs.
Well, there's no doubt the caregivers we really feel for. That's very hard. It gets harder generally over time. By the time they bring, in most cases, their parent in for care, they have tried as hard as they can to keep them at home as long as they can. And the fact that your organization is there to help with all of those things along the way, maybe enabling them to stay at home longer, which is what ultimately we all want, right? It is
what we want. In fact, when someone has dementia, the stress and the decline of a dementia-related illness takes its toll. It's even the same way with children with special needs.
Yeah.
Those types of complicated care-related issues really take tolls on the family.
Aren't people awfully hard on themselves, the caregivers? Like somehow there's a guilt, like I ought to be able to do this?
You know, it really, when you have a special needs child or a family member with dementia, it really does take a village to give the support. I also work as a counselor, and I see a lot of caregivers that come in for counseling, and they're just at the end of their rope, and they beat themselves up. And so one of the things we work with the clients that we work with is a caregiver stress assessment to kind of see where they are and come alongside them and give them the support that they need. And, be a support there to go to doctor's appointments or to go to the care conferences from a medical standpoint to make sure family members are getting the care and the support that they need.
What a blessing that must be to them at that point.
You know, I'm very passionate about the work that we do, as is every member of our team. And I will say that every client that we work with, we do care management meetings, and all the different members of our team are around the table when there's a complicated, and we talk about all of the cases, but often when the most complicated cases are in crisis, the things that happen with our team around the table, when you have an attorney that's kind of saying, oh, maybe we should call their attorney on this. And multiple registered nurses saying, oh, well, have you tried this or have you tried that? And then counselors and social workers kind of coming together. I will tell you, the outcomes that we create are so much bigger than each of us.
Well, that's a great concept. I'm just thinking of you are in crisis as a caregiver, and in this case you just described, there's a meeting of minds, professional minds, brainstorming, if you will, solutions to what you're dealing with
to create the best outcomes.
What a fantastic thing that is.
So we take into consider the medical, the psychosocial, the environmental, where do they live, and the routine living concerns. Say, how do their bills get paid? We usually work with someone's financial planner that's already there. And we work with someone's already established attorney, and we handle the care and routine living concerns.
So I assume you have different levels of care for a person who is aging. Can we go into some?
Yeah, so our nurses would usually, if something is medically complex, and I will say that the majority of our cases usually have some medical aspect as well as a routine living and psychosocial aspect to it. So we have a nurse go into the home, the facility or where they are, and they assess the client, their medical conditions, their needs, their medications, and determine what level of care is needed. So sometimes someone just is having a hard time, someone's not able to drive anymore, or they're not able to handle some of their activities of daily living. The nurse will come in and determine, okay, they might need companion care to come in and help with some items, and this person's a great candidate to age in place. Or then there's aging in place. Then the next level is independent living, maybe in a senior type of community where they live independently, but they come together with other seniors around meals, and someone else is preparing and doing housekeeping and checking in on them. And then there's assisted living, which is someone struggling with their activities of daily living. Maybe they're not taking their medication well, or they're having a hard time bathing or going to the bathroom. So in an assisted living facility, someone's there to support them with their activities of daily living, but they still live pretty independently in many areas. Then the next area is personal care. Someone's not quite ready for a skilled care facility. They don't have a skilled medical need. So a personal care facility or a personal care home is an option when they might need. Sometimes someone who needs an assisted living can live in personal care, or someone in personal care might need a little more support before they go to skilled care. So when we come alongside a family, we come in and usually someone will say, tell us the amount of money that they have to live out the rest of their days. And based on the age, we help come alongside them and create a care plan to meet all of their needs.
They must be pretty impressed with the amount of resources that they have available, for caregivers that they probably didn't even know someone was available to help them with.
We're pretty well known in Pittsburgh, in the greater Pittsburgh area and parts of Western Pennsylvania, in the legal community. I'd say we're fairly well known in the medical community, but in the family caregiver area, we're not as well known about the types of services that we offer.
A number of times I've heard you say the phrase age in place. I think that's probably self-explanatory, but let's cover that anyway for somebody who might not understand what we reference, what we mean when we're saying age in place. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I would say by default, most of the seniors in our community do age in place. But what we help people do is age in place with a plan. So they choose to live at home and they want to live independently. And when there's lots of clients that IKOR of Western Pennsylvania has written in documents to act as their medical or financial power of attorney should they become ill or incapacitated. And then we step in at that point. But then when they have a family member who lives at a distance, or someone doesn't have children, or their children have passed away before them, we come in and use our services to create a plan. We put together a package that helps support them, and then we're there alongside them for the remainder of their lives.
So you can help a local caregiver with their needs for their mom or their dad who needs the assistance. You can certainly be a huge, I'm sure, help and blessing to a child son or daughter of somebody needing the assistance who lives somewhere else and needs somebody on the ground here to help. And you mentioned, I think we talked about money management or the financial aspect of all of this too, and that becomes very important and is not an area most of us are experts in. Can we talk for a moment about what daily money management is and what you offer there?
So daily money management is the new term for people who support seniors or disabled. If you go to the Daily Money Management website and look it up, you'll see providers in all of those areas. We pay routine bills. We act as power of attorney. We will step in as guardian if someone needs a guardian on some. We do some guardianship work. We're not a broad guardian by any sense, but there are some guardianship cases that we do support in as well. I will share that we're very proud. For the last 3 years, IKOR of Western Pennsylvania has been a finalist in the small business category for the Pittsburgh Business Ethics Awards. So those are awards by the Financial Planning Organization and the Estate Planning Council, and they've nominated us for the last 3 years, and we were a finalist for that.
Oh, you must be doing
award.
Something right.
So we carry all of the fiduciary insurances through Lloyd's of London, and our team members work together to support whatever needs are necessary around all areas of a client's life.
Well, the word support comes up a lot in what you do, of course. Before we go to break, just an overview or your thoughts on your support and how you support the families of seniors.
I think that if I talk about family members who live at a distance, our systems are all web-based. So a child that lives, say, maybe in California can log on to our website at night after their parents are in bed and after we're in bed on the East Coast, and they can see all the interactions that we've had with their family member from a distance, or they can call us or send us an email or a text. We text with people, and we show up at the hospital in the middle of the night. A registered nurse shows us up at the hospital in the middle of the night, and we answer emergency calls 24/7. So you have family members, either locally or who live at a distance, really do have someone that partners with them and comes alongside them and supports them in the areas that are necessary.
What a great feeling to know, especially if you live somewhere else, that there's an organization like this that is helping keep an eye on the people you love. We have to take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment. We'll give you some contact information, though, before we go to break, and we'll repeat it again. The website for this great company called IKOR, IKOR of Western Pennsylvania, is ikorglobal.com. That's ikorglobal.com. And the phone number, 412-589-2750. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bizburg on 101.5 Word FM. Patty Hanson is the managing director of IKOR of Western Pennsylvania, and we're talking about her company and what it does, and we have covered some great information in the program so far. We'll repeat the contact information and the website again in just a couple of minutes. Patty, let me ask you about IKOR of Western Pennsylvania, and I know you have a pretty impressive team. You want to spend a moment talking about your team?
Sure. I work with some of the most professional people that I'm honored to come in contact with. They're people that I would trust to care for my own family members. Our corporate standard is that our registered nurses have at least 10 years of experience in multiple areas. And I'm very proud to share that the registered nurses on our team currently have 30, each nurse has a minimum of 30 years experience in multiple areas. And we are adding to our team currently. And then we have 2 master's level counselor, social workers on our team. We have a life care planner on our team, as well as we have an attorney that oversees any of the financial routine bill payment and power of attorney and guardianship. He does not act as an attorney on behalf of our clients, but he interacts and pulls in their attorneys when it's necessary. And I mentioned that we do a routine bill payment. We do not act as a financial planner in our daily money management areas. So that's what our team encompasses.
Okay. Well, you cover an awful lot. You really do. So you mentioned a collaborative process that you have, of course. Talk to me for just a moment in our remaining 1 minute or so as to what that means.
So when we're sitting down and talking about a client, we do weekly case management meetings with the nurse and the counselor or social worker, as well as the attorney. on what's going on with that particular client in a collaborative process. So everyone is looking at different areas of our clients' lives and offering their feedback from all of the different areas: medical, environmental, psychosocial, financial, and pulling it all together and acting as in collaboration. And the outcomes that we create are humbling.
Well, just think of that. I mean, you have an issue, you have a problem you're trying to figure out and deal with, and IKOR has got a team of people, professionals in all these different disciplines, who are going to sit around a table and brainstorm solutions, creative and great solutions to what you're dealing with right now. It's not just one person that's thinking about you for a few minutes as they go off a checklist. It's a group of people that are actually speaking and talking to each other about you in a meeting and coming up with some help and solutions for you. What a fantastic concept.
And we incorporate our nurses work with their doctors. We work with the pharmacists. We support and help people we have a resource that helps us find the right insurance care for the medications that they're taking. So we help get people long-term care insurance approved. We kind of touch any area of the lives of seniors and the disabled.
So when we speak of solutions as you age, certainly IKOR is providing that to people, and thank you so much for the great work you're doing.
Thank you, Gary.
And also, of course, IKOR is a partner with Life Options Pittsburgh as well. Here's the contact information one more time before we close. IKORglobal.com is the website. That's IKOR global.com, and their phone number is 412-589-2750. Thanks for joining us on Bizburgh today, and this program was sponsored by IKOR of Western Pennsylvania. See you next time.